Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for coming back. Today's video is going to be about BV, yeast infection, and bad odor. I'm going to be talking to you guys about a lot of the reasons why you guys keep getting these recurrent problems. So if you're interested in this topic, then please stay tuned for the video. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Mercy. I'm a BSN RN, and on this channel I talk about nursing, lifestyle, beauty. I do a little bit of vlogging, and I just do a little bit of everything. So if you would like to join my family, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below, and also hit the bell notification button so you'll never miss another video from me again. With that being said, let's get into the video. So as I mentioned before, today's video is going to be about the truth about why you keep getting UTI, BV, yeast infections, and bad odors. When it comes to a lot of unpleasant feminine hygiene issues, a lot of females tend to think that they are cursed or they are the only ones dealing with these problems. But the truth is, if you talk to 10 females, you might get 10 different versions of the story. We all have our own issues, we all have our own problems that we deal with, but it's just not publicized because feminine hygiene issues are also topics that are on the hush hush. Nobody really wants to talk about it, either because it's embarrassing or because people feel like they're the only one dealing with it. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about some of these things. So I've done a few videos about feminine hygienes, and I've also shared some really helpful products with you guys, but I just wanted to talk to you guys about the root of the problem. If you haven't seen all those other videos, I'm gonna go ahead and link them down below so you can find them, because I think that those videos are helpful, and I think you should actually watch them and watch this also. That way you know what your problem is and you know how to solve it. So that is one of the main reasons I decided to make this video. So as I said before, a lot of us go through these problems and we think that, oh my god, I am cursed, I am the only one dealing with this. But the truth is, these issues are very common. They are more common than you think. A lot of females have a lot of issues that they deal with, and some of these issues can be just, you know, biological, like genetics, or it can be because of hormones, or it can be because of medications, or sometimes because of your habits, so your feminine hygiene habits or your sexual habits. So let's talk about these things, and you can figure out what category you fall into and how you can fix or prevent these issues. So if you find yourself dealing with a lot of these issues, there's a good chance that it's not your fault. It's just unfortunate that we females, by nature, we are kind of cursed with a lot of these problems, unless you have some reckless behaviors like very bad feminine hygienes or having multiple sexual partners and not protecting yourself. Then in that case, then that is something that you are doing to cause these things to happen to you. But if that's not your case, then a lot of these things are just something that unfortunately a lot of us have to deal with. So here are some things that you can do to either stop this cycle or at least prevent it from happening to you. First of all, I want to say that when it comes to BV, yeast infection, bad odor, UTI, these are very, very sensitive issues, and you want to treat them as is. You don't just want to blow it off because it's not going anywhere. It's going to be there, and you can tell you have it, and unfortunately sometimes other people can tell you have it. So one example I want to give of this is, let's say you have a cat and your cat pees on your rug. The only thing that's going to get rid of that smell is if you actually clean the rug and get the smell out. Covering it up with a piece of blanket just because you have a guest coming and you don't want them to see the stain is not going to fix the problem. They will still be able to smell it. They won't see it, but they will be able to smell it. So it's better to deal with the root of the problem than to cover it up with medications. The reason I say that is, if your habits are a part of the reasons, or if there's something going on within your body that is causing you to have these problems, it is better to deal with it from the root than to just take a whole bunch of medications and over-the-counter medications or prescriptions or this and that to try to fix it, because it is not going to be fixed. Or it might be fixed at that moment, it might be temporarily taken care of, but it's going to come back, which is then again what causes recurrent problems. So recurrent just means that it keeps happening, and in order to stop the cycle, you have to do a root cause analysis, deal with the problem head on, and then forget about it. So as I mentioned before, there are a few things that could be causing your problem. Number one, It could be because of medication. I've said this in my other video. If you haven't seen it, again, I'll link that down below. Sometimes antibiotic or antibiotics can be the cause of these problems. Sometimes taking antibiotics over and over can cause an imbalance in your pH, therefore causing these problems, because the antibiotics we take are supposed to go in and kill the bad bacteria. But the thing is, there are good bacteria in our bodies and there are also bad ones, and the medications don't know the difference. Their job is to go in and kill, so they go in and kill off both the good ones and the bad ones, causing us to have problems. So when this happens, that's where you get your yeast infections, sometimes you get your BVs, sometimes you even get bad odor. So if you notice that you keep getting recurrent BVs, and you notice that you're a person that takes some really strong medications, or you take a lot of antibiotic, you might want to look into that. You might want to talk to your doctor, maybe find another form or another way of dealing with your problems without resorting to those medications. Another thing is an IUD. So there are different forms of birth control, and one of them is IUD. And believe it or not, sometimes those IUDs are the things that are causing your problems. So if that's the case, again, if you have an IUD and you find yourself being prone to a lot of these issues, talk to your doctor, see if they can take it out, and then find another method of birth control. If your problem is due to personal hygiene, here are some things you can do. You might have to switch up your personal hygiene routine a little bit. So if you're more of a bath taker, switch it up to shower, because if you're prone to these problems anyways, baths are not the best for you, because when you soak in a bathtub, the water could crawl up there and cause problems. This is not a problem for regular people, but for people who have these problems already, this can be very, very damaging to them. So if you're a bath taker, then maybe switch to showers. Maybe take one more extra bath per day. So maybe when you wake up in the morning, take one. Before you go to bed at night, take another one. Always make sure your hands are very clean before touching your feminine parts. So even if it means when you go to the bathroom, before you wipe yourself, maybe wash your hands before. Or when you go to take your bath, maybe wash your hands before you start taking your bath, because our hands carry a lot of bacteria. That is one of the reasons why washing hands is pushed a lot in healthcare, because our hands touch. We touch everything. Sometimes we don't even know what we're touching. Sometimes we don't know if we're touching, but we touch. So our hands carry a lot of bacteria. So if you have a lot of these problems, make sure you're washing your hands a lot. Again, tight underwears, thongs, and other tight pants may be normal for another person, but if you have these problems, then you might want to stay away from those. You might want to wear more breathable cotton underwears, and also wear free clothing that is not going to restrict that area and, you know, worsen the problem. Last but not least, on personal hygiene, you might want to increase your fluid intake. It doesn't necessarily have to be water. A lot of times when people hear increased fluid intake, they feel like they have to drink water all day. Yes, water is the best form of hydration, but you can also use other methods, like maybe eat fruits with a lot of fluids, like cucumber and watermelon, and just anything that has a lot of fluids. And also a lot of beverages are okay as well, as long as they're not super unhealthy and high in sugar and caffeine. If it is because of your sexual habit, then I would say change it. I'm not judging when I say this at all. Some people prefer to have more than one sexual partners, but if you find yourself having these problems, I would say maybe that's not your thing. Maybe just stick with one partner and make sure you're protecting yourself, and also make sure you know what this person is doing. So if you're out there dating and meeting new people, maybe before you do anything with them, you might want to go and check them and check yourself. So go to a free clinic, go to a health clinic, go to your doctor, go somewhere and ask to be tested, and ask the person to test themselves as well. If the person likes you enough, they'll do it so that you can be comfortable, so that they can be comfortable, and most importantly, so that both of you are safe. But if the person doesn't want to do it and they're still forcing you to perform certain acts with them, then first of all, that person is not for you. Because if the person cares about you, they'll be willing to do things to make both of you safe and comfortable. So if they're refusing to do it, then that's not the partner for you. But if you insist on having more than one partners, just make sure you are protecting yourself every single time. Don't even miss one time. Always protect yourself. It is preferable if you only had one partner and if you are using protection, but everyone has their preference. But just make sure you're protecting yourself, because at the end of the day, you are going to be stuck with an STD, even worse than BV, UTI, and all of this. You could be stuck with something that could affect you for the rest of your life, because not all STDs or STIs are treatable, but they are preventable. On the other hand, if your problem is genetics or just due to feminine hormones, then find other ways to treat it. So maybe use natural products to get rid of them. So things like cranberry juice. Cranberry juice are great for preventing things like UTIs. And also you can use a probiotic. Probiotics are great at replacing those bacteria that I told you about before. The medications go in and kill all the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. Probiotics are good at replacing those good bacteria so that you have a good balance in there to help you prevent or treat these problems. You can also use things like boric acid, which I talked about before. Those are the things you can do to help you. So just take better care of yourself. Make sure you're taking more showers or baths. Make sure you're cleaning down there. Make sure you're wearing cleaner underwear. Make sure your diet is good. I know having a perfect diet is almost impossible for anyone, but make sure you're incorporating some healthy choices. Make sure you're increasing your fluid intake. Make sure you're not being risky with your health and your sexual partners, because again, you will have to deal with some of these things for the rest of your life. Some of them you can get rid of, some of them you can treat, but some of them you're stuck with. So just be smart when it comes to your feminine hygiene. I know us females, we have it harder than males because we just have a whole bunch of stuff going on with our bodies, but there are ways that we can treat them and there are ways that we can prevent them. So I hope this video was helpful to you guys, and if it was, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. If you have any questions for me at all, please go ahead and leave them down below. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell notification button so you'll never miss another video from me again. I love you guys so much. Check out the videos down below that relates to this topic. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.